All right, so I decided to use the mobile phone instead of the my new camcorder, just due to the fact that I don't seem to be able to zoom. Or I haven't tried, but I don't think. No, I have. I don't think I can zoom out anymore with the camcorder. So I think this is the better approach for this map, I hope. Yeah, I haven't done any moves really. I'm just at the moment recording, but I do want to say right off the bat that I am an extremely fortunate person that the person I'm playing with, Ken, um, is understanding and very patient. It's not that I've hit a wall. It's but it's actually I've hit a speed limit. I've realized how fast I can actually go making decisions with this type of game. And I mean, come on, this thing is huge compared to the, I mean, this is a very different Eastern Front in 1915 than it is at the beginning, like in August of 1914. I can tell you that much. I remember watching a lecture, and I think one of the people that the person I was doing the lecture about the Gorlice Tarnow breakthrough was mentioning. I think it was like well over 60 divisions was over here on the Eastern Front, and it was just like the amount of more divisions that went over on the Eastern Front compared to, like, for reinforcements compared to the Western Front, it's just massive difference. So anyways, that's the first thing off. I did do some notes, so hopefully I'll remember. So what I've been doing, even though I will quickly go over a little bit of the overview of the map, one thing I am doing, which is a wonderful recommendation for me from Dad versus Son, is just break it up into chunks. So I'm actually just one army at a time. And other people have mentioned that as well. Like Charles Latorre was also saying that just one stack at a time kind of thing, one thing at a time. I was like, yep. So that's what I've decided to do. I'm just focusing on the 10th Army here, but I will go over roughly, or try to explain what I've noticed so far. So Ken basically performed essentially 5 attacks. 2 of them forced cavalry retreats, and 3 were successful, and they breached. They destroyed 3 trench hexes, and he's doing just like Falkenhayn did historically, which is bringing I guess from the German perspective, a spectacular amount of artillery, and from the Russian, an obscene amount. You should see how much siege artillery and regular artillery there is in there. It's just ridiculous. And there's a lot of supply points the Germans have, and a lot of headquarters. It's magnificent to look at, but that's as far as I want to say about it. Anyways, so here's these white things I'm using right now. So anything from here on to the right, there's no trenches on either side. It's just all open here. And then the same with here. So from here on up, there's no trenches. So from here all the way, there's trenches all on both sides, except for the 3 spots that the Germans have essentially turned into devastation markers. So they were here, here, and here. And those yellow spots, those yellow pegs, are just basically where my forces have retreated. The Russian Third Army there, which is historically what happened. They got nailed really hard. Anyway, so those are the 3 spots that I look at and go, okay, I know that there's no trenches there anymore. What else can I tell you? So I've been recording as many positions as I can for both sides. I really want to know where all the German artillery is, as well as the cavalry. I'm telling you one thing, I'm really amazed at how good these things are working, these blocks with the thing for me to record down the strength points and whatnot. The only quibble I would say for myself is I just didn't clue in at the time, is I would have made these things much longer, like right up to the thing. Sometimes I'm finding it's a bit difficult for me to write. But oh my God, there's been many times I haven't even taken, this is what I'm normally using. I'll replace the this with that and then move it off to the side. But there's been many, many times I've caught myself just erasing and recording straight from the map. And I'm like, yeah, okay, this is working very well then. Also, if you see these double lines here, that's just telling me that either there's a lot of cavalry there or they have cavalry. Well, for me, it's mostly for 2-strength cavalry. I'm not used to seeing Russians with 2-strength point cavalry. So, and also there's even some areas here along the trench areas. I think I can find a couple where there's essentially, I think there's just, yeah, look, like right here, there's no infantry whatsoever, and there's a trenched position there, and there's a ridiculous amount of cavalry there. I'm like, wow. So what else can I tell you? So he's forced some retreat back here of some cavalry. I'm very concerned, obviously, of look, as the commander, that's the way I'm looking at it. I'm very concerned of my flanks being cut, not so much here, but this one for sure. And it looks, from what I can see, he's already starting to move a lot of, the Germans are already moving a lot of forces up north. I'm very concerned with this fortress here. However, that's the 12th Army's concern, so I'm not worried about it. The orders giving out for the 10th Army. What I have been trying to do so far is just without causing too much grief for myself on the right flank, is shift some of the cavalry, start shifting some of my forces over a little tiny bit and also into just a slightly bit better position. But I'm very, very concerned that the Germans are going to be able to maybe not take Kovno right off the bat, but because because those aren't the fortress points. These are the infantry points. So there's still, I think Kovno's got like 30 points, so quite a bit. But this one here, Ossowjez or something like that, Ossowjez, I'll have to look it up. I think it only has 6 strength points for fortress, and I think if they go below 4, is what Ken was telling me, they automatically go. I also have to be extremely concerned with German troops starting to take enemy zones of control along the 3 major rail lines getting into Warsaw. If that occurs, all the fortresses around there collapse because basically the Russians have decided to withdraw. They historically did not want to have, I guess, a big street fight in Warsaw and whatnot. Let me take a look at the other notes, my notes, so I make sure that I don't forget some stuff. Yeah, I got to find out where Mackinson's 11th Army is, because historically that was pretty bad. What else can I say? Yeah, there's a strange reinforcement for the Russians on 01 May. It says that I have to, I'm not complaining, because I think I go from a brigade to a division. I think it's the Caucasian Rifles brigade gets turned into a division, but it happens on the first turn. And I'm like, kind of odd, but I'll have to ask Ken, and I'm sure he'll understand more. I don't know. I'm hoping that this thing is working better. I'll try to figure out something in the long run. What else did I... Oh, maybe there are some positions of interest. Yeah, I think that would be a thing to say. So 2410. Is that the 2410 I'm talking about? Or is it... No, it's the 2410 down here, right? Nope. Or there was one here. What am I thinking of? 2410. Oh, engineering and railroad, 5 for them. 2411, 3 artillery. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of them there. Where's the other railhead? 1909 in Galicia. 1909 in Galicia. So there's... What's that there? That's a railhead and an engineering unit. Yeah, so that's basically what I'm trying to figure out. I'm sorry if maybe I should have done a better job of note-taking or whatever ahead of time. But yeah, like I said, I'm just right now focusing on the 10th Army. Even though, like I mentioned, that's going to be the 12th Army's worry. I'm also worried about this fortress as well. I do want to make a stand here, at least at this point. For how long, I don't know. One thing I'm going to try to remind myself is not to fall into that trap. I don't know if other people do. When I've played Risk, it's almost, I don't know what is it called, the gamblers, whatever. And it's that point at which I just keep throwing, I just keep going. Even it's like you're just throwing more forces into a losing situation, but something snaps in my head where you just keep going. And it's just like, this is stupid. But so I have to look at it at that point where I go, okay, excuse me, there's going to be a point at which, okay, the Germans may be overwhelming, my little defense, or trying to, stubborn defense or whatever here, but don't make it too stubborn and get into trouble. And the only other thing is I'm trying to do what I don't think, what was his name? Radko Dmitriev of the Third Army, is I'm already, like, I'm planning now, like, it should have been done earlier, but I'm already trying to figure out how to withdraw nicely, because it's going to have to happen. The German forces are just incredible. It's a sight to be seen. I'm just like, wow, like it is impressive. That's all I got to say. And from what I've been reading as well, it's just like everything was clicking for them. I mean, they knew, oh, they did it properly. I mean, they prepared, everything was right and everything was going wrong for the Russians. So we'll see see what happens. Oh, and here's the other spot here. These are my extensions of the Russian rail into Austrian territory. So there's another thing I have to remember as well. I think that's it. I think I probably went off. And I did want to say one other thing, which I think is, it's apt because it's World War I, is I think today is the 105th anniversary, if that's what you're going to call it. I don't know what the hell you're supposed to call it. Because it always sounds like, wow, that sounds like a party. Or it's like, well, it obviously wasn't. The Battle of Caporetto.